Yes, I did watch it, and I barely remember most of it. So Stranger Things Season 5, the series finale is what I'll be talking about today. And this isn't going to be a play-by-play or hint by hint. This is just going to be straight up my thoughts of it, because I barely remember most of it and I don't really feel like going back in time to gather every little detail about it. But from what I can recall is, in Stranger Things, the finale, we see that the kids have escaped from Vecna and Henry is going after them. They all run into this cave. Henry bravely enters the cave and tries to go after him, but his own repressed thoughts are coming back and is keeping him from going. And the other kids who remain in Hawkins, so we have Hawkins, the Upside Down, and Dimension X. So the Upside Down is actually a portal into Dimension X from Hawkins. They decide they're going to wait till Dimension X goes down to this tower. Then they're going to go up the tower into Dimension X, save the kids, kill Vecna, do all that fun stuff. They have to defeat this big, giant, monstrous, huge CGI monster put in Stranger Things. It looks like it's the Mind Flayer, and it just bravely attacks them, and it's a huge soldier just going up, you know, just going in, bravely saving the kids and everybody. Then when they finally get to Vecna, Winona Ryder says, "You fucked with the wrong family," and it takes an axe and you're telling me, the Duffer Brothers, you're telling me that this was all planned? It wasn't. I feel like most of it was exaggerated and put in to keep the show running longer. But yeah, Will had his big coming out moment. Yeah, in front of all his friends and family and some random people. Will just clearly expressed how he felt, and that's brave for a hero. It's also interesting of how he did it. When he was coming out, it made me think that there was another monster that Vecna made him saw, but it was actually just him expressing his feelings. It's just the way the writing was written and his acting that made me think, wait, hold on. Is there another monster that they need to defeat or something? But yeah, props to Will. Dipshit Derek is one of my favorite characters in this season. I'd say he did a very good job. Very funny. Dipshit Derek, or Delightful Derek, as he so wanted to be called in the later half. At the end, when they set a bomb to destroy the Upside Down, it's put on a record player and it goes around and around and around. And once they get out of the Upside Down, armed soldiers are just waiting to capture them, because they're mainly looking for Elle. And Elle randomly ends up back at the Upside Down. But it's like, how did she do that? Unless she was a vision portrayed by her sister. And as this is happening, Elle expresses her sadness to Mike and says, "You can do it, but this has to happen." Record, boom. And she just easily disappears. That, I know, is what has raised a lot of questions. Like, how did she do that? Was she a vision? You know? Then, after that, the Upside Down is gone. Completely destroyed. No more Upside Down, no more Dimension X. And then we fast forward 18 months later. After the graduation, and everyone's moving on. Some are going to other towns and stuff. This guy's the baseball coach. That's interesting. Who knows? Maybe there could be a sequel after this, or a spinoff or something. So then, as the boys are playing D&D in the basement, just like at the beginning of season 1, we see that Mike brings up the suggestion that Elle is possibly still alive. He uses it as they're playing D&D to describe what's happening. And we see footage of Elle possibly at another world with, not another world, but in another country with 3 waterfalls, as they talked about in the beginning of the season. So then, as they're all talking and gathered around, then they start to go upstairs, and then the new kids come downstairs and play D&D. So sort of like a pass the torch moment. I feel like all Netflix series ends like this. Squid Game, and now this. A pass the torch moment that could possibly leave room for a sequel, a spin-off, or just more of this storytelling. So then Mike gives one last look after he puts up the book. Gives one last look, sees the new kids playing D&D. He goes upstairs, closes the door, and we cut. And that's the ending of Stranger Things. So, the Stranger Things finale. What did you think about it? Whatever it is, whatever it was. Also, how would you rank the endings of the seasons? Mine would be, from best to worst, 5, 1, 3, 4, and 2. Whatever it is, whatever you think, comment below and let me know. And as always, if you like what you see here, you want to see more, you know what buttons you got to press to see more. Like and subscribe. I'm Stefan, and take care.